G'day and welcome to another episode of Ian Smissen's Photography. So in this episode we're going to be looking at the first day that my wife and I spent in the Olympic National Park on the Olympic Peninsula near Seattle, Washington. In particular, we're going to be looking at waterfalls on the South Shore Road of Lake Quinault. And so if we flip over to the Google Maps, you can see here the Olympic National Park takes up most of the Olympic Peninsula just to the west of Seattle in Washington State in the US. And Lake Quinault is down here in the southwest corner. And if we flip over to the expanded view, you can see the lake here, and there's a loop road. The South Shore Road runs all the way along the lake and then the river, and then crosses a bridge up here and turns to the North Shore Road, and then runs back down to Highway 101, which is the highway that runs all the way around the peninsula. And we're going to concentrate on a series of waterfalls along the South Shore Road. Firstly, Willaby Falls on the Willoughby Creek here, and then Falls Creek just near the little village of Quinault, and then further up Merriman Falls, and lastly Bunch Falls, which is right before you cross over the river onto the North Shore. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, please subscribe and like and share with your friends, and we look forward to another one soon. Bye. So I'm down here at Willaby Falls on the Willoughby Creek, just near Lake Quinault. You can see these fantastic falls here with this little plunge pool, and then coming down through here, curving away to the left. I'm going to try and take a few shots here, trying to emphasize the rocks under the surface of the water, so I'm going to put a polarizer on. And then I'm going to try some more shots down a little bit further down the creek to look at the rocks and the green algae and moss on the top of those rocks. So I'll give it a go and I'll show you what I get. I'm on a little footbridge and now looking at the cascades, which are a bit lower down from the falls that I was shooting previously. What I'm concentrating on now is trying to get a shot with the cascading water behind these green leaves coming in from the left-hand side. So I hope I can find a nice composition there. I'm going to try some verticals and some horizontals and see what I come up with.
So here I am at the somewhat obviously named Falls Creek Falls. I'm standing in the middle of the creek, and it's the best place to shoot from because you can get this view straight up the falls that are cascading down through this little channel directly underneath a bridge on the road. There's another little fall just down to the right hand side of it that I'm going to try and shoot in a panorama as well. So as with the last spot, I'm going to shoot a variety of horizontal, vertical shots as well as some panoramas to see if I can get the best view. G'day, I'm here at the Merriman Falls on the South Shore Road on Lake Quinault. As you can see behind me, the falls are cascading over the rocks from out in the forest. I'm going to take a few shots from here to emphasise the distance between the foreground where I am and these trees over on the right hand side and the falls in the left hand side. Then I'm going to move down into the little gully over here on the right and shoot the falls from a couple of different angles. So let's give it a go. Spectacular place, but the challenge here is to try and find a location that you can shoot the foreground, the midground, the falls in the background, and cut a little bit of that sky out so it's not too white. If I just switch to video now and record this, you can see that I've got the foreground I want, but I'm missing the top of the falls, and this is at 24mm. So I'm going to take a couple of shots here and tilt it back a little bit to drop a little bit of the foreground and emphasise this big rock on the left, and then I'm going to change lenses to a wider one.
Well, as predicted, the 24mm lens was not wide enough even in vertical format to capture the foreground and the top of the falls. So I tried the 20 and the 12mm. The 20 just wasn't wide enough. I was just missing the foreground and the top of the falls, and I really wasn't happy with it. I could have stepped backwards a little bit, but by stepping backwards I was actually going to end up tripping over some branches and getting too much of the foreground in it. And when I put a 12mm on, there was just too much surrounding rubbish, and I didn't want to crop the image. So what I ended up doing was to take a 3-shot panorama, a vertical panorama, with the 24mm in horizontal format, and then stitching those 3 together, and here's the result.
Well, here at Bunch Creek Falls, this is probably the last falls we'll shoot for the day because I want to get out to Ruby Beach to see if there's going to be a sunset. And these falls are just dead easy. I am standing on the side of the road. I've just got to be a bit careful I don't get run over by passing traffic, but and there's a little concrete railing on the side that I've got the tripod legs sitting on. Shooting into the forest here is quite simple because it's opened up. There's a gap between the trees here. It's almost like they've designed it. And a couple of cars coming now, so I'll just let those go past. But there's a beautiful foreground here with some large boulders and a few little ferns and flowers. Smaller boulders covered in moss, and then the S shape of the falls in the background. So I'm going to take a few shots horizontal and vertical here. There's not a lot of variation without getting down into the creek and getting some different foregrounds, but take a few of these and then see what we get.